Hello everybody, Ryan here again, and first time in a long time, we're streaming. So, I am looking to see, first off I just want to make sure that I'm actually streaming, and I'm not just going to talk to myself for, a little while. So let's see. Let's see if I can get my stream pulled up, and then we'll get started. I know that I'm mostly going to be talking to myself. I haven't streamed in a long time, and look at that. First off, I just want to make sure that I'm... Okay. Second thing I want to check, I want to make sure you can hear the ATC, so I'm going to do a quick little bleep and make sure I can hear it on the stream. My stream pulled up, and then we'll get started. Looks like I'm a little bit behind. I'm just going to be talking to myself. But we'll go ahead and get in the cockpit. And the other reason why I want to stream is I just kind of want to look back on it, so... Let me shake sure I can hear this first, though. Make sure I can hear it on the screen. Yep, okay. You guys can hear the ATC? Cool. Or future Ryan, who watches this, can watch it. So, I'm going to do a cold and dark start in the fly-by-wire A320neo. So, batteries on, external power on. Alright, let's go over to the EFB, and we'll get started. Import flight plan. Beautiful. And we'll go ahead and get boarding started. A little under 11 minutes. We'll get the fuel started as well, but let's go ahead. Unfortunately, just one of the bugs is that the jet bridge with the fly-by-wire does that, where it starts to come and then it goes back. Yeah, it is what it is. I do not use GSX. Haven't started using any of the real paid stuff yet, but I will be eventually. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the cockpit set up. Let's go ahead and do our fire tests. I'm not going to throw the APU on yet, but we can go ahead and get the cockpit ready. Alright, good there. So let's go ahead and pull up our clearance. I do have all my my charts and my sim brief on my other screen. So for the most part you're not going to be able to see it. But here we are, Salt Lake City, Rugged 3 departure. We're taking off on runway 16 left, so that's going to be here. So we're going to taxi probably via hotel and come out, swing around to Bubby, and then it's via the Purdy transition, if I'm not mistaken. Longs 3 arrival via camper. Runway 16 left is what we're assigned as of now. And we'll take one of these alpha gates. We'll check the gate when we get closer. So, I have that on that screen. So let's go back to Microsoft. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go on my ground chart and find the clearance. Let's see, 127.3. Now, it's not always updated. And one thing I will say with the fly-by-wire A320, it's just, truthfully, it's just workload. I have it so it auto-tunes the radio. Everything else I manage myself, but just with how long it takes to tune and get the frequency ready, it does too much. So let's go ahead and get our clearance. Salt Lake City clearance, Delta 1549, requesting IFR clearance to Denver.
Delta 1549, Salt Lake City clearance, cleared to Denver Airport. Rugged Tree departure with the Purdy transition then is filed. Climb via SID. Departure frequency 126.25. Squawk 2730.
Clear to Denver via the Rugged 3 departure with the Purdy transition, then is filed. Climb via SID. Departure frequency of 126.25. Squawk 2730. Delta 1549. I know some people and streamers put the charts up
Delta 1549,
using
read that
EFB,
correct.
but
Contact ground 123.775 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground on 123.775, Delta 1549. Alright. One thing I will say, again, I'm not any kind of professional pilot, so regarding doing secondary flight plans and copying the active, I don't do that as of now. Just still trying to hone my skills. And when it comes to putting in the fuel and the alternate, I do leave this blank as of now. I know that I'm not supposed to. I'm kind of used to using the Indy builds, A320, A321, where it just kind of fills it in for you. So I found that it works for now, but still trying to learn as much as I can. And in the future, if I do other streams and whatnot, and hopefully future Ryan watches this back and goes, "Oh my god, I can't believe you didn't do this." I hope that's the case. Alright. So let's go ahead. On the FO side, I always like to keep it at 20, just so I can, if I just want to look over real quick without changing anything, I can.
United 2328 at gate Bravo 10, request pushback and engine start.
For the altimeter, another bug on the fly-by-wire is it moves that one as well.
United 2328, Salt Lake City ground. Pushback and engine start approved.
Alright, we're going to
Face
Salt
east.
Lake via runway 16 left.
Pushback approved.
Via
Face
the
east.
rugged
United 2328.
transition. Alright. Let's go ahead and put in our arrival. As of now, expecting runway
Skywest 3803, welcome to Salt Lake City. No suitable gates for your aircraft exist at this airport.
Arrival.
Taxi at pilot's
Via
discretion.
Transition is camper. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Good, everything looks good. You're good. And then, okay, looks good. I'm happy with that. Alright, let's go ahead over to the EFB to get our performance. We will do a flex thrust, packs off. Let's check the weather real quick. 120, few at 12,000. Yeah, so no packs. Or the anti-ice off. Okay. Everything else there looks good. 147, 147, 147. Okay. 147 across the board. That is one thing that I have noticed.
Delta 761, welcome to Salt Lake City. No suitable gates for your aircraft exist at this airport.
Is that often
Taxi at pilot's
performance
discretion.
calculations on the fly-by-wire is almost always all
United
the same across all
2328,
three,
ready to taxi
or
to be active.
it's the same, like one. Also, it doesn't give you any THS.
United 2328, runway 16 left
So,
taxi via Gulf 7 Hotel.
Don't know which
Hotel
one's
1
right,
tree.
because I'm not a real-life pilot. I'm still trying to learn as much as I can.
Runway 16 left taxi
Alright,
via
let's
Gulf
take a
7
look at
Hotel.
boarding.
Hotel 1 tree, United 2328.
About 3 minutes left. Okay, let's go ahead and get that APU on. Alright. And with the APU on, starting, let's go ahead and do our walk around. Another bug with the fly-by-wire A320. It's supposed to be ready for 2024, but yeah, green landing. Or nose wheel. So I'm gonna just do a real quick. They also don't fly to Denver anymore, so I don't really have a chance to. obviously this is the fly-by-wire. It's not too stacked out, and I don't have the nice graphics on this, so I'm going to get a nice repeater and several months with this. I am planning my second European vacation. My wife and I just got back about 3 weeks ago from Europe. And we're planning next summer's vacation. So that has the priority, and that's where the money's going. So, alright, so we do have the dome light on. That's fine. Now we're going to go AP bleed on. And we can go ahead and turn on those fuel pumps. One of the reasons why I use the fly-by-wire is A, the cabin noises. I know that there is the mod now that you can kind of control that. But I just like how natural it is. And obviously I don't close the door because then I can't hear it, and I like to hear it. Secondly, and the biggest reason why I stopped using any builds while I wait for the Phoenix A321neo.
Boarding completed.
Like that, that's nice. But is the cockpit sounds. Any builds sucks. Sucks. I hate it. So, yeah, so I don't use it. Stop using it. Alright.
SkyWest 3690,
We're ready
Gate Bravo
for
10
departure,
taxi
so
via
we're gonna
Alpha
go
5.
ahead, get rid of that, and we can disconnect.
Gate Bravo 10 via Alpha 5, SkyWest 3690.
Oop, that didn't even open the door. I know that one was. And that fuel truck says it's still kind of lingering around. Alright, so we're going to do the dome light off. Oop, not all the way up. Can't wait to light it. Okay. We'll go ahead and alright, one last look around. Make sure I have everything where I want it. We're just going to go ahead and set our initial altitude to 11,000. That's what we call it. Okay. I think we're ready for pushback. Salt Lake ground, Delta 1549 requesting push and start.
Delta 1549, Salt Lake City ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face east.
Pushback approved, facing east, Delta 1549. Alright, beacon on.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
Set up our tug.
United 2328, contact Salt Lake City Tower 119.05.
Contact Tower 119.05, United 2328. Have a good one.
And we are going to face east. Let's go ahead and start it. There we go.
Delta 2412, Gate Alpha 27 taxi via Alpha Tree, Alpha 5. Gate Alpha 27 via Alpha 3, Alpha 5, Delta 2412.
Engine number 2. This is the add-on freeware scenery for Salt Lake City, but it's technically only for 2020, but I found almost no issues with it, minus that little building, which you can hit with your wing, and it will basically send you 3,000 feet in the air, and then you gotta return. Totally don't know that from experience. I thought, it'll just go through, it'll be fine. Yeah, I was wrong. Unfortunate part about this is you can't get directly on the center line unless you just kind of eyeball it there. And I just try to do the best I can. Looks like we got a solid engine number 2 startup. just going to go ahead and finish getting on this line. And we'll go ahead and set up. Yeah, so see, it can't really get it super perfect. I just try to get it the best I can. Which is fine. That works. And we'll stop. Again, I know it's not perfect, but it's alright. It works for what I need it to. So. Alright, engine number 1, start. Disconnect the tug, and go ahead and disconnect that. Let's go ahead and arm the spoilers. We'll go flaps number 1, and we're going to do max auto brake. Alright, once we get this set up, we'll go ahead and do our flight control test. Alright, back to norm. APU can come off. And let's do our flight control test. Alright, full down. Full neutral. Full up. Neutral. Full left. Neutral. Full right. Neutral. Left rudder. Right rudder. Alright, flight control check. Alright, let's go ahead and request taxi. Salt Lake City ground, Delta 1549, request taxi runway 16 left.
Delta 1549, runway 16 left taxi via Golf 6 Hotel, Hotel 1 Tree.
Taxi runway 16 left via Golf 6 Hotel, Hotel 13, Delta 1549. Alright. So let's go ahead. This looks real nice, actually. I love how the game looks right now. One thing I will point out, which is super annoying, as much as I love Beyond ATC,
FedEx 1813 Heavy, cargo November 1 taxi via Alpha 5 Alpha Foxtrot Golf.
Honestly, crap. I hate that they're pedaling into all
cargo November 1 via Alpha 5 Alpha Foxtrot Golf. FedEx 1813 Heavy.
Starts doing a product all at once, but I noticed lately that a lot of times
3761,
it
Gate
won't
Alpha
understand
22,
me fully
request
clearly
pushback and engine start.
when it tells me to go to tower before departure, and then secondly, when
SkyWest
it clears me to
3761,
my
Salt Lake
first
City ground,
initial
pushback approved.
altitude.
Face west.
So usually does about half of your
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
And it doesn't
SkyWest
understand it. So if it does that,
3761.
I'll probably just use the auto AI response word response for me. So yeah. The unfortunate thing is Golf 6 is not labeled on the Golf 6 is not labeled on the chart, so I'm gonna assume we're on Golf 6. We're gonna go ahead and turn on hotel here. So yeah, I hit that building with my wing turning left or right here, and it didn't work out so well. One thing also about the fly-by-wire, which I'm not a fan of, is the nose wheel steering. It can be, and it could be something I need to recalibrate with my HOTAS. But if you hold it down for too long or too strong, it will just whip you left. Even if you let go of it like 10 minutes prior, it'll just keep going, which is annoying. Again, I'm using the freeware until Phoenix comes out with the Neos, just because I'd rather fly a Neo than the CO if it's going to come out. Alright, let's go ahead and do
SkyWest 3761, taxi for departure.
and this
SkyWest 3761,
Neo,
runway 16 left
fly-by-wire,
taxi via
we don't need to
Bravo,
put
Golf
any
7
thrust in.
Hotel,
It'll get up
Hotel
to
1 Tree.
35 knots ground speed, you know.
Runway 16
without
left
putting
taxi via Bravo. Golf 7, Hotel 13, SkyWest 3761.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and go turn the packs
Delta
off.
1066 at gate Alpha 20. Request pushback and engine start.
Sometimes, yeah, it gets a little more of its own. So we're coming up on
Delta
Hotel
1066, Salt Lake City ground. Hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
Hold position, Delta 1066.
Delta
See, I put no
1066,
thrust
Salt
in,
Lake City
and we're
ground.
already
Pushback and engine
at
start
26
approved.
ground speed, so
Face west.
looks like we've got a plane up here. Let's
Pushback approved, face west, Delta 1066.
Yeah, that's something. So we do have one taxiing behind us and to the left. Let's see what it is. It is a FedEx A300. Interesting. Honestly, I never get those things, so that's different. And we're taking this all the way to Hotel 13, which is the last intersection to runway 16 left. Maybe a little bit of turn. One other thing with my current stick setup, my brake is just kind of a button. I don't yet have rudder pedals. That'd be something I will try to invest in soon. The reason why I'm saying that is I can't control how hard I brake. It's either I brake or I don't. So sometimes I'll
Delta
just
1549, contact Salt Lake City Tower 119.05.
Tower on 119.05, Delta 1549. Yeah, same thing's on the better. Alright, let's just get to a stop here. Alright. Also, I have noticed this on every A320 series I fly, that I press the button to set the parking brake, and then sometimes it just comes off on its own. I've checked the settings. I don't see anything that turns it off. I don't know if that's a 2024 bug or what, but alright, let's go for departure. Salt Lake City Tower, Delta 1549, request, or ready for departure, runway 16 left. Alright.
Delta 1549, Salt Lake City Tower, wind 130 at 5, flight heading 340, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 16 left, Delta 1549. Put a little bit of thrust in to get us moving.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
I don't know why, but I feel like I'm forgetting something. And I know you're not supposed to start yet, but that's okay. It's harder when you got a lot of controls you have to manage. Alright. Have detents on my hotels, so
1549. Contact Salt Lake City departure. Have a good evening.
Over to departure, Delta 1549. Salt Lake departure, Delta 1549 is 6,000 feet climbing 1,000. Oh, that's what I thought.
Delta 1549, Salt Lake City departure. Good evening. Radar contact. Clear direct Bubby. Resume the rugged tree.
Clear direct Bubby, resume the rugged 3 departure, Delta 1549. Right. Direct to Bubby.
United 2328. Contact Salt Lake Center 135.775.
Center on 135.775, United 2328.
So, have to be at or above 11,000 at Bubby. Experience with beyond ATC and flying out of Salt Lake. They don't really clear you until you get to a while, so we're going to go ahead and clear ourselves to 20,000 to 200. Doesn't know. Crosswind. That's another thing that does not work on any builds. Just alright, 10,000 feet. Electronics used, landing, lights off. Alright, 10,000 feet. We're going to leave seat belt signs on for now. This part doesn't look great. This looks like that. This looks great. Again, it's just kind of doing the stream for me so I can look back at what I did. Just going to be happy with what I've learned. Something I noticed with this one compared to any builds. It's just a little bit brighter than I'd like when I first set it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put in some initial stuff, which always a change. So we're going to Denver. Expected runway is 16 left. I know you don't need to do this until you start descending, but I like to put it in there just because I like to see how it changes. So currently 160 at 10 knots. Temperature is 21.
Salt Lake City departure. SkyWest 3761. Climbing via Zions 1, 4,700.
And the ILS
SkyWest 3761, Salt Lake City departure. Good evening. Radar contact. Clear direct Hopto. Resume the Zions 1.
Very good.
Cleared direct Hopto. Resume the Zions 1. SkyWest 3761.
So, we'll just use Denver's. So, this is from the 20th day at 0253 Zulu time. Wind is 160 at 10 knots, 10 square miles of visibility. Few clouds at 10,000 feet, few clouds at 14,000 feet. 21 degrees, dew point is 8, altimeter 3004, remarks. This means it's basically whatever. The actual dew point. That's about it. Obviously, when you have actual weather, you know, it says. I'm still trying to learn it. You know, a lot of times something will pop up that I've never seen before, and I'm like, oh, all right, let's ChatGPT this, figure out what the hell this whole entire sentence means. So what do you learn? Alright, so we got 40 here. And we're approaching 20.
Salt Lake City departure. UPS 843 Heavy. Climbing by a rugged tree. 4,700.
With Salt Lake City, you're on departure frequency forever.
UPS 843 Heavy. Salt Lake City departure. Radar contact. Clear direct buggy. Recent the rugged tree.
Clear direct buggy. Recent the rugged tree. UPS 843 Heavy.
Auto FPS. So, flight time of 58 minutes with block time of hour 26. Our cruise is 39,000 feet. I'm not paying for this, so cruise index, or cost index.
Delta 1549. Contact Salt Lake Center 135.775. See you.
Over to Salt Lake Center on 135.775, Delta 1549. Salt Lake Center, Delta 1549 is flight level 210, climbing flight level 250. This is where unfortunately, beyond ATC doesn't
Delta 1549, Salt Lake Center. Good evening. Climb, maintain flight level 390.
Climb and maintain flight level 390, Delta 1549. I'm not going to times 2 this week. I'm just going to enjoy the flight. Now, if anyone watches this and can help me, how do I get this back to the cruise? I noticed that
Salt Lake Center, Exejet 638, descending via Carter 1, flight level 267.
All this time I'm like, wait, what if I just will it go back to the cruise?
Exejet 638,
no
Salt Lake Center, roger.
Until now to figure that out. So, information, but it's not one of the things I need to do. So. Alright. Alright. Up to this turn, it feels pretty smooth. We can turn off the seatbelt sign. Basically pretty smooth. 65 miles will reach our cruising altitude of 39,000 feet. Should I do my... Yeah. Oh, actually, with the fly-by-wire, the pilot makes an announcement of cruising altitude. So, I guess I don't need to do that. Apparently my wife is house sitting, so I typically I don't do that. She already thinks I'm a nerd. You know what I'm...
Delta 1549, contact Salt Lake Center 119.905.
I don't need to talk to the... Salt Lake Center on 119.905, Delta 1549. Salt Lake Center, Delta 1549 is flight level 275, climbing flight level 390. Don't like calling out the middle. Like 275, I just like ending it at 0. I don't know if real pilots
Delta
round up or
1549,
round down or
Salt Lake
actually say
Center.
like 279. I don't know.
Delta 1549. Contact Salt Lake Center 127.7. Take care.
I'll turn this one myself. Salt Lake Center on 127.7, Delta 1549. And just to show you guys why I don't tune it myself, is it just takes too long. I mean, this one's not much of a stretch, but still. Salt Lake Center, Delta 1549 is flight level 290, climbing 390. Using the any build
Delta 1549, Salt Lake Center, copy.
Modern comm system, where it's a lot easier, it's just the buttons. I know that Windwing today actually just announced that they're coming out with this, and the transponder. So if I do ever get this, then I will obviously tune it myself. It's a lot easier when you can kind of control it yourself, but when you're just, you know, trying to scroll forever to get to, you know, 4.35, you know, it's fine for like when you're at cruise, but when you're, you know, lining up for departure, or especially on approach, and on final, when you're already task saturated, you know, I'm not going to spend 20 seconds changing the frequency with this comm system. Now, if Phoenix comes out with the A320neo, I don't believe the Neo has this, but if they do come out with the LR, then yes, I will do that. Or if I do end up getting the Wingman complex, whatever it is, then I'll do it myself. But considering in real life you have the pilot flying and the pilot monitoring, and the pilot flying does not change the frequency or talk over the radio, I don't feel like I'm cheating too much by doing the auto tune radio, because I'm still responding, so technically doing more than what the normal pilot would be doing. It's going to be expensive. It's a short flight. I actually did this flight a little while ago, at the beginning of middle of May, so about a month and a half ago. Decided I did not want to fly Southwest Airlines anymore, so I had some flight credits. I'm just going to use them to go to Salt Lake and see what Delta is like for our upcoming Europe trip, because I never flew Delta before, so I just hung around the gates like a creep. It was actually funny because, you know, there was like 3-4 international flights, you know, going to Amsterdam, going to London, and I would just hang out at the gate like I was a passenger. And, you know, and they would call, you know, priority group 1 and group 2, and meanwhile I'm just standing there. I mean, I was sometimes not just like sitting at seats, I was standing with them, because I was there for a while. And so I just hung out with them, and eventually boarding group 7 comes, and 8, and I'm the last one there, and I'm like, alright, bye, and I walk to the next gate, and I just watch the same process over again. I'm like, you know, technically what I'm doing is not illegal, but in a way it feels illegal and suspicious when you've got a guy who just keeps going to different gates, standing with the group boarding, and just never gets on the plane, and then just goes home. So yeah, that was fun. You know what? I enjoyed it though. You know, with the world that it is now, you can't just go to an airport and, you know, go to a gate and watch the planes board and deboard and all that. You have to pay and have a ticket, so, you know, I enjoyed it. It was fun. And I would do that again if, you know, money wasn't an object. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. But now I am a pilot. You know, I commented on a couple YouTube videos today, because today was day 1 of the 2025 Flight Expo in Rhode Island. And I said, if Windwing ever comes out with an overhead panel, I'm gonna go feral. You know? And the thing is, you know, I really, you know, again, like I said at the very beginning of the stream, I'm saving money for Europe, and that's priority number 1. Priority number 2 after that is you know, getting a better gaming PC, and some other stuff. You know, I'm trying to collect plane models of every plane I've ever flown on, and those weren't cheap, so those are on my Christmas list. But I am asking for the throttle, and then the flaps, and the speed brake, and the parking brake, and all that. I think that's so fucking cool. They are coming out with that. I want it. I want the fucking D10s, because I'm just using a Thrustmaster, what is it, like a T16000M or whatever, because I originally got into it for DCS, and DCS you don't really need the D10s. It's not a thing that I'm here. But, you know, if I ever got, and I am asking for this too, but, you know, as they come out, and they just came out with this, or announcing it, they already have the MCDUs, now they announced this, and this. I mean, you're close to having an actual sim cockpit.
United 2328, contact Salt Lake Center 125.575. Have a good
like,
evening.
Obviously, each individual piece adds up. Like $77
Center on
for this.
125.575, United 2328.
No, it's not bad. But if they ever come out with this, I don't even want to imagine how much that's going to cost. I mean, on my last European flight, I just was thinking, like, I'm obviously going to ask for the Delta trading card, but I want to go up to the cockpit, and I just want to fucking touch a button. You know, I just have that urge and desire to know what that actually feels like. Like, obviously they're not going to let me, but like, when you cold start, and you hit the 2 batteries and the external power, and that sound, and just the sound of the clicking, I just want to know what that's like. You know, how does that actually feel? Got a plane up here. Let's see what it is. It is one that just spoke in the video. United 2328 from Salt Lake City to Denver. And they are at 39,000 feet as we are approaching 39,000 feet. That seems like a safety precaution. So, there it is.
Delta 1549,
Yeah,
contact
this feels
Salt
a
Lake
little
Center
unsafe, considering we're at the same altitude, going the
125.575.
same place, on the same route. Salt Lake Center on 125.575, Delta 1549. Hello, the person. How's it going? Salt Lake Center, Delta 1549, flight level 390. Yeah, I don't want to hit this guy, and I'm obviously going faster than I watched on the map as we.
Delta 1549, Salt Lake Center.
I mean, we're at the same altitude. I mean, he's at 39,031 feet, so
We just reached our cruising altitude
technically
for flight and begin to settle in.
Skyshare 499, contact Salt Lake Center 133.6. Take care.
Shortly. Also, one more reminder to please
Contact Salt Lake Center 133.6, Skyshare 499.
I guess we're gonna go over him. I see him on the map. It is the fly-by-wire. Yep. Well, I guess we're not gonna hit him. It looks like we're 1,000 feet above him, but that's not what the radar says. He says it
Salt Lake
says it's
Center,
at 39,000
Delta 888. Good evening. Flight level 319er.
Wave goodbye to United A320, also going to Denver.
Delta 888, Salt Lake Center, radar contact.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, I fly the, I've switched to the fly-by-wire while I wait for the Phoenix A320neos. Just because the Indy builds,
Delta 526,
I do think,
Distant Voyages, one arrival.
in a way, it's
Salt
nicer.
Lake City Airport landing runway 16
But
right. Altimeter
it has shitty
2990.
cockpit sounds. If you click a button, and you don't hear it at all. You know, there's no sound.
Descend via
The
Jazz
EFB
1 arrival.
on the Indy
Salt Lake
builds
City, airport
suck.
landing runway 16 right. Altimeter
So, I'm using the
2990,
fly-by-wire
Delta
until we get
526.
until we get the Phoenix A320, especially the A321. That's the one I really want to fly. And I've been flying the A321LR for many builds. So. Got a plane coming across our nose at 35,000. That is a 737 MAX, or 30.
Salt Lake Center, American 2922.
737
Flight level
MAX
240. Southwest 2118. Contact Salt Lake City approach 125.7.
It's going to CYYC. So I know that.
Contact Salt Lake City approach, Southwest 2118.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say Calgary. Ah, it is Calgary.
American 2922.
And
Salt
they're
Lake Center.
coming,
Radar
no,
contact.
coming towards us. 737-900. Atlanta to
Southwest
Portland.
46.
That's Delta.
Contact Salt Lake Center 127.9 or 25.
So we got 4 little planes in this, and they are at.
Contact Salt Lake Center 127.9 or 25. Southwest 46. See you.
You know, the thing is, the Indy builds has good potential, and I
Delta 1549. Salt Lake Center. Expect longs 4. Runway 16 left.
expect the longs for arrival. Runway 16 left. Delta 1549. Yep, we got our initial descent in about.
Delta 526. Contact Salt Lake Center
but, you know, I think the Indy builds
133.9.
isn't bad.
Have a good evening.
I just think if they made some investment
Contact Salt
in it,
Lake
in
Center
terms of
133.9er,
sounds,
Delta
mostly.
526.
If they fixed the sounds on it, I think I switch back, to be honest. The AFB blows. Let's just be honest. You know, having the ability
Salt Lake Center.
to
Expect longs
have
4.
something like
Runway
this,
16 right.
like Phoenix has. Obviously, they do have kind of a
Expect longs 4,
much simpler
runway
version
16 right,
of
United
takeoff data
2328.
and whatnot. I just think this is better. You know, I think
Summing
it has the
570.
ability.
Contact Salt Lake
It is
Center
disappointing, and I know it's a free
124.35. See
and
you.
for free, it's great. You know, I shouldn't be
Contact Salt
complaining.
Lake Center 124.35.
And don't get me wrong,
Summing
this plane does have
570.
plenty of bugs, and I mean, if you go back to the beginning of the stream or when we land, the fucking nose wheel is green. So, you know, you just go to take a picture from the outside, you're gonna have a green nose gear. I know the United livery one is just like all straight black, but yeah, the EFB is much nicer than this. It gives you a lot more information. It just looks better, you know. The Indy builds is just kind of real simple. And the thing is, too, one of my favorite planes is the A330, specifically the Dash 900 Neo. And I like flying the A330-300 from Indy.
Salt Lake Center,
But
WestJet
at the same
1514.
time, it's just
Good evening.
kind of,
Flight level 410.
you know, it's kind of the same thing. You know, they've got the bug that this one has, where you
WestJet
need this one,
1514.
that one.
Salt Lake Center. Radar
The
contact.
altimeter, the sounds, I will say, are slightly better on the A330 than the
Delta
A320 family.
1549. Contact Denver Center 134.5. Have a good one.
Over to Denver Center 134.5. Delta 1549 per day. Denver Center Delta 1549, flight level 390. And yeah, I'm using the auto tune just because when I get task
Delta
saturated with
1549,
approach,
Denver
it'll only
Center.
take 20 seconds adjusting the frequency. So let's see if we had any weather change. So 160
Alaska
at 11.
372. Contact Denver Center 128.65.
Center on 128.65. Alaska
10:21.
372. Have a good
That's
evening.
slightly cooler. And obviously, as you can hear by my voice. So I think that's my considering I'm in Denver, that's where I live. It's down outside of Denver, but let's see. What is Celsius? Celsius to Fahrenheit is 20 degrees Celsius is 68. Might be able to open up the windows tonight. That would be nice. It's so damn hot in the summer, but at least we don't have humidity. That's what's most important. That's what's most important. Alright. 80 miles till our descent. Let's get there a little bit quicker. Let's go ahead and be a little faster. Go to a 200.
Denver Center, United 2328, descending via Longs 4, flight level 390.
Let's look at the chart. Again, I use it on my other monitor. Just easier.
United
Takes up less
2328, Denver
space.
Center. Copy.
So here's the Longs 3 arrival camper to Grays. That's the waypoint we're on now, or going to, which is in 43 nautical miles, so we're about here. You have to be above 27,000 feet at bike, and then longs between 22 and 19. Continue, and we're having the runway 16 left, so we're just going to continue straight, and just Google Maps real quick. That approach is going to come right around here, and then come straight in. That's how it works. So, we're technically on the runway, which is always fun. No severe weather or anything like that. Obviously in Denver you always have some bumps. Wind is blowing the 1360. So hopefully it stays like that. I will say one thing that I've noticed a massive difference between the AnyBuilds A320 family and the fly-by-wire is that my landings with the fly-by-wire are noticeably better. When I flew with the AnyBuilds, I felt like I was not making a lot of progress. I felt like it was funny. I mean, it was horrible. I couldn't maintain center line. If there was a little bit of wind, I just lost it. Versus the fly-by-wire, I feel like I can recover a lot easier. I don't need to use the rudder as much. I have an easier time staying on center line, having speed management. Now, is that realistic? Not a problem. You know, I would love to know which one's more realistic. You know, because you could think, 50% of me says, well, maybe the AnyBuilds is, because landing an airplane is not like it is in a sim. It's not supposed to be easy. But at the same time, is the AnyBuilds just more difficult unnecessarily? Maybe. Just not really. But approaching 30 minutes into the flight. Descent in just over 60 miles. I do not use
United 1188, contact Denver Center 132.1.
Do you plan to do that? Although technically,
Contact Denver Center 132.1,
Flight
United
Sim
1188.
2020 Microsoft Flight, or in Sim Marketplace, says
Delta
it's
660,
available for
Denver Center, expect Jazz 1, runway 17.
just kind of so
Expect
it'll be
Jazz 1,
generic scenery,
runway
but
17, Delta 660.
let's go ahead and look at what our either gate will be. I know that we have A gates. I like parking on the other side. So we'll take gate Alpha 47. Which actually, if I pull up the charts, I believe I never use the Sim EFB. I like having everything on a separate monitor, as though it is like an EFB. Yep. So we're taking 4 seconds. So when we land, to the edge, so we land 16 left. We'll probably vacate at Foxtrot 6. Taxi down via Zulu. And then cross over around Charlie November, continue via Golf, Alpha November. And one thing that I just think is cool, you never really see this, is planes park here, planes park here, planes park here, planes park here, here, and here. One thing that I think is cool is it's Alpha Sierra, Alpha November, Bravo Sierra, Bravo November.
Delta 1549, increase speed to 280 knots.
Well, I had overspeed there, but that's okay. Increase speed, 280 knots, Delta 1549. The thing that I think is cool is it's A for Concourse A, and then the north side and the south side. Concourse B, Bravo November, north side. Bravo Sierra, south side. I've never run into another airport that does that, and I think that's kind of cool in a way. Obviously, not my hometown, but where I've lived for the last 6 years. Just kind of cool. You kind of know where you're going to be by knowing your last taxi route. I like that. So we cannot increase our speed at this moment to 280 knots. We would severely overspeed the airplane. So we're going to stay where we are until we basically start descent. But yeah, I think that's really cool. Alpha South, basically Concourse A South or Concourse A North. I think that's pretty clever. I've never seen another airport that uses directions like that for their taxi routes. It's pretty smart. Alright, no new weather change at Denver. The red set our altimeter to 3005.
Delta 660, descend via Jazz 1 arrival, Salt Lake City Airport, landing runway 17, altimeter 299er1. Descend via Jazz 1 arrival, Salt Lake City Airport, landing runway 17, altimeter 299er1, Delta 660.
So we can see the lights in Denver.
Delta 660, contact Salt Lake Center 125.575.
Coming up in front of us, like
Contact Salt Lake Center 125.575, Delta 660.
Which surprisingly, I've never been to.
Delta 1549, descend via Longs 4 arrival, Denver landing runway 16 left, altimeter 3005.
Descend via the Longs 4 arrival, expect runway 16 left, altimeter 3005, Delta 1549. Thanks, the person, appreciate it, and yeah, I hope it is a butter landing. Probably won't be. That's alright. Alright, go to 11,000.
Denver Center, Southwest 3326. Good evening. Descending via Flat I-5, flight level 341.
Start our descent. We'll reduce the thermometer now, and then we'll speed to 280 knots.
Southwest 3326, Denver Center, radar contact.
We'll let the flight attendants know, keep your eye out for the seats and alright, we're descending. Here we go. Descending at 35 minutes. And yes, I do
deck,
keep
ladies and
both.
gentlemen. As you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
I think that's super cool. The only negative part, and it's kind of two-folded, is if you close the door, because right now it's 60, it's open. If you close it, you can't hear any of the cabin announcements. You can't hear the flight attendants, and you can't hear, obviously, the boarding and deboarding, which you would have the door open. But the door doesn't open anyways. If you click it, it doesn't open. So I just typically leave it open because I know it's not realistic, but it's one of those things that you're simming and you want to hear it. I want to hear it. So technically starting our descent a little early, but that's alright. Let's go ahead and increase our speed to 260. Because wanted is a 280, plus there is a speed restriction on the bike, which is 18 miles. So we'll get as close to 280 until we can without overspeeding the aircraft. I think Delta would fire overspeed the aircraft. Alright. Just, it's a little bit brighter than that. And these are both on the, look, one little mouse click. There, off. Just off. And you have this whole dial.
Southwest 3326.
One
Contact
click.
Denver Center
Just a little bit
126.5.
brighter. Same with this. That's literally
Contact
just
Denver Center
complete
126.5,
darkness.
Southwest 3326. Have a good evening.
I do wish that lighting was a little bit less intense. Alright, catching up to the green dot. We can increase our speed to 270. Let's see, we are over Steamboat Springs now. There it is. Never been there. Also, ooh, one humongous bug I've noticed with the fly-by-wire. You noticed anything?
Delta 1549.
Okay,
Contact Denver Center 126.5.
Denver Center on 126.5, Delta 1549. Denver Center, Delta 1549, flight level 340, descending 1000. So, saying, notice anything?
Delta 1549.
In
Denver
flight,
Center.
the nav lights stop working. They're on. Okay, even if I reset it, they're off. Notice that on every single flight. Okay? No light. Complete dark. The only thing that's working is the strobe and the beacon. Notice that. It's kind of annoying. Alright, now we can go up to 280 knots. But that's what you get for having free aircraft. Although, again, for free, this is fucking awesome. It allows people to get into simming the way that I have, and, you know, without having to spend $40, $80 on a plane. You know, and I'll just be honest, there was a point where you kind of you start learning about how to fly and the systems, and
Southwest
there's a lot of
3326.
intimidating
Denver
things,
Center
like
125.9.
learning a lot of this. Learning the MCDU, I think it's the most difficult part of the process. But at a certain point, you feel like you hit a plateau. And for me, that was charts.
Contact
Trying
Denver
to
Center
understand
125.9,
ILS charts,
Southwest
flight charts,
3326.
what the hell is a SIG, what the hell is a star, and I kind of just felt stuck. I felt like I wasn't making any progress, I wasn't learning anymore, I wasn't having fun, and I can tell you that if I had to pay for the aircraft, and I had the conversation with my wife, I'm like,
United 11
I'm either going to stop,
Denver Center. Roger.
or I have to put a lot of effort into it and keep going. And I'm at the point where it's
Delta
50-50.
1549. Contact Denver Center
to that.
128.65.
Center on 128.65, Delta 1549. Denver Center, Delta 1549 is flight level 275, descending 1000.
Delta 1549, Denver Center. Good evening.
Just kind of hit this plateau and wasn't sure if it was worth continuing and putting in all this work, because I just kind of felt stuck. And I was like, I'm going to take like a week and just kind of, do I want to keep doing this? You know, is it worth it? It's frustrating. You know, I didn't understand, you know, when there was a, you know, you depart and There's no line here, you know, 'cause you have to get radar vectors. And I will partially blame that on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, same thing with 2024. The ATC fucking blows. And if you don't use ATC, and you're doing a departure that requires radar vectors, and you don't really understand that, of course it's going to be difficult. Because there's no fucking line, and you're like, hello, like, how do I get to this waypoint? And if you don't understand how to go to direct and whatnot, it's very difficult. And that's where I kept getting stuck. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to try to keep learning. And, you know, I learned a lot. I'm still learning a lot. You know, I still don't do a lot of things in this. You know, I don't do the secondary flight plan. I don't do, you know, all the fuel stuff, you know. I don't put this in as of now. I need to learn, and I'm still trying to build up my skills. But the whole point of me saying all this was having free aircraft, having freeware sceneries, it allowed me to continue to do it without investing a lot of money. I had my stick, I had my throttle from DCS, you know, I have track arrow, but I don't use it for this. You know, if I didn't have the stuff I have, and if I didn't have the freeware, I probably would have not continued simming. And so having freeware products, and you know, as great as it is, and I know that those developers work hard, you know, I don't think the flight sim community would be anything near what it is, and it's still relatively small without it. And you know, I try to explain to my wife, like, oh, I'm going to buy this plane when it comes out, and I could easily just tell her, yeah, I can fly the same exact plane right now. Well, what's the difference? Well, it's a little bit nicer. Yeah, but is it worth $40, $80? And I would have always said no. But now I'm planning on buying the Phoenix A320-ish whenever it comes out. If it comes, I know they're doing the 320neo and 321neo. If they come out together, then I'll get both. But if it's, you know, 40 for one, or, you know, 80 for both, kind of like what they do with the CEO version, I'm just going to buy the 320. As much as the 320 is nice, A320 is good. It's bigger. Excuse me. And bigger is just always better. Coming up on a speed restriction as we try to lose some speed, so we'll just throw a little bit of speed to it. Ooh, that is a lot of speed. Just a guess there. Just 2 seconds. So, 10,000 feet above the ground in Denver is going to be about 15,500 feet. So, we're almost 10,000. Let's go ahead and speed break. Alright. Looking how we're looking right now. Good energy management. Right on the dot. Like it. Hello, man. You understand that reference? You watch a lot of YouTube and find some stuff. Alright, no weather change in Denver. I don't know how to refresh it over here. Just auto refreshes. Alright, descending to 250 knots. As we approach 10,000 feet above the ground, at which point we'll turn on the LS. We'll select our auto brake. Landing lights come on. The portable electronics comes on. So that's the next milestone. Starting this green down a little bit. There we go.
Delta 1549, contact Denver Center 125.905.
Denver Center on 125.95, Delta 1549. Denver Center Delta 1549 is 8,000 feet, descending 1,000.
Delta 1549, Denver Center.
Now, one thing I've noticed is that
Delta 1549, contact Denver approach 119.3.
approach on 119.3, Delta 1549. Denver approach, Delta 1549 is 17,000 feet, descending 1,000.
Frontier Flight 2818, airport is at your 2 o'clock 12 miles. Report the field in sight.
is so far above safe.
We have the field. Frontier Flight 2818.
They could get a little bit better with the radar vectors to final
Frontier
approach.
Flight 2818, clear visual approach runway 16 right.
You just can't figure out by yourself sometimes. I've
Clear
noticed
visual
that
approach
flying into
16 right.
Chicago
Frontier
O'Hare,
Flight 2818.
they do not descend you, and they do not descend you quick enough, and you just
Southwest 9 or 40, contact Denver
coming
Tower
to final approach, and
124.3.
you're like at 13,000 feet. I've noticed that on
Contact Tower
all of my flights down
124.3,
there.
Southwest 9 or
That I
40.
would like to
Delta 1549, Denver approach. Good evening. Altimeter 3005. Expect the visual approach runway 16 left.
Expect a visual approach runway 16 left, altimeter 3005, Delta 1549. Alright, let's get some speed brake in so that way we can slow down so we can start descending.
Frontier Flight 2818, contact Denver 135.3. Take care. Over to Tower 135.3, Frontier Flight 2818. See you.
Keep slowing down. Alright, actually 10,000 feet, so let's go ahead. Portable electronics off. Off. Alright, LS. We are currently
Denver approach, Frontier Flight 2576, 16,600 with information hotel.
just northwest of Loveland, and we're northeast of Estes Park.
Frontier Flight 2576, Denver approach. Altimeter 3005. Expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right. Frontier Flight 2576.
So touchy, but I just super touchy. Alright. So 3,000 would be about 86. 8,600.
Denver approach, Southwest 3326, 16,200. We have hotel on board.
Southwest 2252. Turn right, heading 010 vectors for the approach.
Good.
Turn right, heading 010, Southwest 2252.
Southwest 3326, Denver approach. Good evening. Altimeter 3005. Expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
Time to get task saturated.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right, Southwest 3326.
Put 6 miles and then some radar vectors, so hopefully they start giving us some radar vectors. I know I can just go up direct, but...
Delta 1549, turn right, heading 135 vectors for the approach.
Turn right, heading 135, Delta 1549. It's just such a crazy view from the cockpit. It literally feels like 200 feet above these houses. 6,000 feet above.
Southwest 2252, descend maintain 9,000 feet, altimeter 3005.
Feels fucking crazy.
Descend maintain 9,000 feet, altimeter 3005,
And
southwest
a lot of times when you do
2252.
that final radar vector to the approach, I'll just go direct to this waypoint. I just found that it's a lot easier. Beyond ATC doesn't get you fully on the mark, so...
Denver approach, United 1188. Good evening, 16,200 with the numbers.
So there's the airport. It's going to be blocking.
Delta 1549, turn right, heading 155, intercept the 16 left localizer, descend maintain 7,900.
Turn right, heading 155, descend and maintain 7,900, Delta 1549.
Negative, descend maintain 7,900.
Descend and maintain 7,900, Delta 1549. So see, it doesn't really get you there, so I'm just going to go down to...
Southwest 2953, turn left, heading 340, descend and maintain 9,000 feet, altimeter 3005 vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 340, descend and maintain 9,000 feet, altimeter 3005, southwest 2953.
Or no, that's not...
United 1188, Denver approach, altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
So we're 16 left, so this is going to be a runway right here.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right, United 1188.
17 right, 16 left, 16 right.
Denver approach, JetBlue 393, 16,300 feet with information hotel.
So let's just go...
Southwest 2252, turn right, heading 120, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend maintain 7,900 feet.
Turn right, heading 120, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend maintain 7,900 feet, southwest 2252.
Those are not gunshots, those are fireworks.
Delta 1549, airport is at your 12 o'clock 13 miles. Report the field in sight.
Field in sight, 12 o'clock, Delta 1549.
Delta 1549, cleared visual approach runway 16 left.
Cleared visual approach, 16 left, Delta 1549.
Southwest 2252, airport is at your 2 o'clock 12 miles. Report the field in sight. We have the field, southwest 2252.
Ready at flaps 1. Let's go ahead and extend speed brake.
Southwest 2252, cleared visual approach runway 16 right.
Alright, let's go ahead and go off.
Cleared visual approach 16 right, southwest 2252.
Delta 1549, contact Denver 135.3.
135.3, Delta 1549. Denver, Delta 1549, visual approach, runway 16 left.
Delta 1549, Denver, wind 150 at 11, runway 16 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 16 left, Delta 1549. Let's go ahead
2,500.
It's down.
Pilot Dennis, please prepare for that.
Definitely went fast. Had to.
Denver, Southwest 2252, visual runway 16 right.
Yeah, I know. See,
Southwest 2252, Denver, wind 150 at 11, runway 16 right, clear to land. Runway 16 right, clear to land, Southwest 2252.
Denver Delta 1549. See, that's so frustrating when it doesn't
Delta
actually
1549,
do
go
what
around.
it's supposed to.
Fly runway heading, maintain
So
9,600 feet.
Fly runway heading, maintain 9,600 Delta 1549. So frustrating.
Delta 1549, contact Denver approach 119.3.
Over to approach 119.3 Delta 1549. Well, that was unfortunate. We were just going too fast. We were
Denver
too high.
approach, United 2057 Heavy, 16,700 feet with information hotel. United 2057 Heavy, Denver approach, good evening, altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 17 right.
That's frustrating.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual
You know,
approach
that's the
runway
thing, it's like
17
we're
right.
descending,
United
and
2057 Heavy.
You know, they just... You don't keep
JetBlue 393, leave Kipper heading 1905, expect radar
Sorry,
vectors
we'll
for
go
visual
around,
approach
do it
runway
again.
16 left.
It's one of those things where you're streaming and...
Leave Kipper heading 1905, expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 16 left, JetBlue 393.
It's just a bummer. It's just
United
a bummer.
1188, turn right, heading 175, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend maintain 7,900, altimeter
Alright, we'll go around,
3005.
do it again.
Turn right, heading 175, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend maintain 7,900, altimeter 3005, United 1188.
Frontier Flight 2576, descend maintain 9,000 feet, altimeter 3005.
Descend maintain 9,000 feet, altimeter 3005, Frontier Flight 2576.
Denver approach, Delta 746. Good evening, 16,000 with information hotel. Delta 746, Denver approach, altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 17 right.
Bummer. That's alright.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual
You know,
approach
I was-
runway
I
17
liked
right,
it.
Delta 746.
Just too high. Just too high.
Southwest 3326, airport is at your 12 o'clock 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
Field in sight,
Tell me
Southwest
how disappointed.
3326.
It's just frustrating because you're doing everything you're supposed to. The plane's
clear
not
visual
descending.
approach runway 16
You know,
right.
you should be descending at like 1,000, feet per minute.
Cleared
It's
visual
descending at
approach 16
300.
right,
So you
Southwest
end up too far
3326.
high, and I went off autopilot. What, 12 miles?
JetBlue 393, descend and maintain
Get the plane down.
7,800 feet. Altimeter 3005 vectors for the approach.
Fast. Probably could have put the landing gear
Descend and maintain
get some drag.
7,800 feet, altimeter 3005, JetBlue 393.
And then they have a lower speed restriction or speed plane.
Frontier Flight 2576,
Yo,
turn
like
right,
a
heading
radar
120,
vector,
intercept the
back in the
16 right
pattern.
localizer. Descend maintain 7,900 feet.
Like just east of my house right now.
Turn
clear.
right, heading 120. Intercept the 16 right localizer. Descend maintain 7,900 feet. Frontier Flight 2576.
Denver approach, United 2328, 17,400 feet, we have hotel.
That's it. Let's land at Bucklers these days.
United 2328, Denver approach. Good evening. Altimeter 3005. Expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
Radar vector. How long am I gonna fly out?
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right, United 2328.
It's time to late. I want to go to bed.
Frontier Flight 2576. Airport is at your 2 o'clock 12 miles.
Return.
Report the field in sight.
I don't know how to go to the...
Field in sight. Frontier Flight 2576.
You know, there's too much fucking radio traffic. I can't even...
Frontier Flight 2576. Cleared visual approach runway 16 right.
I'm still on approach, so... frequency.
Cleared visual approach 16 right. Frontier Flight 2576.
There is a
Southwest 3326. Contact Denver 135.3.
But if I can...
Over to Tower 135.3, Southwest 3326.
Dude, I'm gonna get to Colorado Springs. Hurry.
Denver approach, Delta 1549, 9,600 feet.
I'm over Parker.
United 1188 Airport is at your 12 o'clock 13 miles. Report the field in sight.
You're going to Colorado Springs.
Field in sight. United 1188.
United 1188. Cleared visual approach runway 16 right.
Oh my god, come on.
Cleared visual approach 16 right. United 1188.
I'm gonna go a little faster because maybe if I get to a certain point, let me just...
Frontier Flight 2576. Contact Denver 135.3.
Contact Tower 135.3. Frontier Flight 2576. Have a good evening.
JetBlue 393. Airport is at your 12 o'clock 13 miles. Report the field in sight.
Damn, dude, this is crazy. We are passing Parker now and are getting on the
Field in sight. JetBlue 393.
familiar with the Denver area.
JetBlue 393. Cleared visual approach runway 16 left.
I've lived in Aurora twice, lived in Parker, and I've lived in West.
Cleared visual approach 16 left.
Just doing a
JetBlue
drive-by
393.
doing the scenic route.
Denver approach, United 8174. 15,800. We have hotel.
You know, here. We're gonna reset the chrono here.
United 1188.
If they don't give us
Contact Denver 135.3. Have a good
We're just
one.
gonna do it ourselves and force beyond ATC.
Over to Tower 135.3. United 1188. Have a good one.
We're not even getting remotely back into the pattern. We're just flying straight.
Southwest 3659. Turn left. Heading 340. Descend maintain 9,000. Altimeter 3005 vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 340. Descend maintain 9,000. Altimeter 3005. Southwest 3659.
We just kind of got to force beyond ATC to kind of like over here.
Delta 1549, welcome
there
back.
we are.
Continue.
Continue. Continuing, Denver. Delta 1549. Yeah, just continue. Continue till you get to Colorado Springs and then just land there.
Delta
There
1549,
we
turn
go.
right, heading 005.
Turning right 005, Delta 1549. See, sometimes you just gotta force the issue with it.
JetBlue 393, contact Denver 135.3.
Alright, finally. Dude, we're literally, this is Castle.
Over to Tower 135.3.
I mean, I understand.
JetBlue 393. See you.
Real far south. for a go.
Delta 746, turn left, heading 340, descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
Planes that are on
Altimeter
approach
3005 vectors for the approach.
The downwind much closer.
Turn left, heading tree 40. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Altimeter 3005. Delta 746.
United 8174, Denver approach, altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
Let's see, did we get any change in weather?
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right. United 8174.
Southwest 3659, turn left, heading
Technically we're on
240,
downwind.
intercept the 17 right
Just a
localizer,
really,
descend and maintain
really
7,800
long
feet.
downwind. 30 miles. It's 30-mile downwind.
Turn left, heading
At 3,000 feet above
intercept the 17 right localizer. Descend and
ridiculous.
maintain 7,800 feet.
I'm not a pilot,
Southwest
but
3659.
I'm pretty sure that's not... I've seen go-arounds at Denver. I've been in a go-around at Denver. You don't fly 30 miles
Southwest
away
1866,
before getting
13,900 feet with the numbers.
So yeah, right now we'll fly 250 knots, and then we'll
Southwest 1866,
maybe
Denver
a 10
approach,
mile.
altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right,
Get a left.
Southwest 1866.
Southwest 3659, airport is at your 10 o'clock 12 miles. Report the field in sight.
To make just a general road turn.
Field in sight, Southwest 3659.
Southwest 3659, cleared visual approach runway 17 right.
So much approach traffic.
Cleared visual approach 17 right, Southwest 3659.
Come on, give me a
Delta 746, turn left, heading 240, intercept the 17 right localizer, descend and maintain 7,800 feet.
Turn left, heading 240. Intercept the 17 right localizer. Descend and maintain 7,800 feet. Delta 746.
Southwest 3659, contact Denver Tower 124.3.
Over to Tower 124.3. Southwest 3659.
Delta 746, airport is at your 10 o'clock 12 miles.
I need a left-hand.
Report the field in sight.
I'm gonna be way too close to the
Field
runway
in
to be
sight,
able to make
Delta 746.
Come on.
Delta 746, cleared visual approach runway 17 right.
No, I talked up a lot of good things about Beyond 18.
Cleared visual approach 17 right. Delta 746.
We can't make base turn this close.
United 2057 Heavy, descend and maintain 1010,000,
We're over
altimeter 3005 vectors for the approach.
This is the runway we're landing on via that one.
Descend and maintain 1010,000, altimeter 3005, United 2057 Heavy.
Again, I could force the issue again by making a left-hand turn, but I'm trying to play better.
United 2328, fly present heading, intercept the 16 right localizer,
This is
descend
also
maintain 7,900 feet, altimeter 3005 vectors for the approach.
Like, if there's a go-around right now.
Fly present heading, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend maintain 7,900 feet, altimeter 3005, United 2328.
Delta 746, contact Denver Tower 124.3.
And I will find intercept.
Contact Tower 124.3. Delta 746.
United 2057 Hemi, turn left, heading 240, intercept the 17 right localizer, descend and maintain 8,400.
I thought they were actually bringing us back in downwind, but we were not.
Turn left, heading 240, intercept the 17 right localizer. Descend and maintain 8,400, United 2057 Heavy.
Future Ryan might watch this. I'm gonna be. I don't want to do.
Southwest 1866, fly present heading, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend and maintain 7,800 feet, vectors for the approach.
It's currently 10:53.
Fly present heading, intercept the 16 right localizer, descend and maintain 7,800 feet, Southwest 1866.
Unless we're just in a continuous left-hand turn.
United 2057 Heavy, airport is at your 10 o'clock 14 miles. Report the field in sight.
Field in sight, United 2057 Heavy.
This is going to be the longest go around of my life.
United 2057 Heavy, cleared visual approach runway 17 right.
That's all right. What is 1257?
Cleared visual approach 17 right, United 2057 Heavy.
That is the 7.
United 2328, airport is at your 12 o'clock 11 miles. Report the field in sight.
I did not actually know. Doesn't have that.
We have the field, United 2328.
I have it also. I didn't know that.
United 2328, cleared visual approach runway 16 right.
Does 7.7.
Cleared visual approach 16 right, United 2328.
Yeah, it does.
Delta 1549, turn right, heading 055.
Oh, finally. Turning right, 055, Delta 1549. Come on.
United 2057 Heavy, contact Denver Tower 124.3, take care.
Contact Tower 124.3, United 2057 Heavy.
With the fly-by-wire, the knobs turn so slow. That's why I...
United 2328, contact Denver 135.3.
Contact Tower 135.3, United 2328.
It has never looked better.
Southwest 1866, airport is at your 12 o'clock 13 miles. Report the field in sight.
Well, there's Ballerina coming the avalanche.
We have the field, Southwest 1866.
I know it doesn't look very good, but that's honestly the best looking city I've ever had.
Southwest 1866, cleared visual approach runway 16 right.
Oh, the bars now.
Cleared visual approach 16 right, Southwest 1866.
Having us go. We're gonna go back towards the airport.
United 8174, airport is at your 12 o'clock 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
It's 500 feet above.
We have the field, United 8174.
United 8174, cleared visual approach runway 16 right.
Alright, this is crazy. I'm not.
Cleared visual approach
We're just gonna
16
go
right,
direct.
United 8174.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Southwest 1866, contact Denver 135.3.
I'm just basically gonna force beyond ATC to figure it out.
Contact Tower
They're just having us loop
135.3,
around.
Southwest
You know, game,
1866.
we flew like 35 miles to the south. Come back to intercept. Go to a hold. Let us go before the hold, but
Delta
then they're gonna have us.
1549, turn right, heading 080.
Where are you sending? 080. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. That's all over here. Unless you're planning on having me run, like, land on
Denver approach,
17.
commute air 4237,
It doesn't make sense. And if you're gonna
15,100 feet
land
with
on
information
land
hotel.
on runway 17, you kind of need to tell me that. So I'm just
Commute
gonna
air
force
4237, Denver approach, altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right.
That's kind of ridiculous. That really kind of
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 16 right. Commute air 4237.
16 right
United 8174. Contact Denver
They
135.3.
give
Have
us
a good
another
evening.
radar vector.
Contact Tower 135.3. United 8174. Take care.
It is going to be a very short flight.
Delta 1549. Turn right,
Alright,
heading
fine.
130.
Turning right, 130, Delta 53. That's kind of ridiculous. If I think that they're gonna have us land 17 right now, because that would make sense. We go left and then come in. But it's just irritating that they haven't said anything. You know. Again, I plane spotted right here on
Commuter
this road,
4237.
watching 16
Turn
left,
right,
16
heading
right. I've seen
150
planes go
vectors
around,
for
I've
the
seen them come
approach.
back. I've seen them land on different runways, but it's not like this.
Turn right,
And
heading
again, throw all of
150,
it.
commute air 4237.
If it can't figure itself out, then we'll just kind of go off autopilot and just fly ourselves. Even if Beyond ATC yells at us and is like, no, you're not good, we'll land. Because I'm not going to just fly around first. We're going to come back off approach, we're going to increase our speed so that we can hurry this up. I know this part's going to be lost. The whole flight has been realistic. Even bad energy management on my part, I guess, you know, coming into the approach. But since the go around, though, this has been realistic.
Commute Air 4237. Turn right, heading 175. Intercept the 16 right localizer. Descend and maintain 7,800. Altimeter 3005.
Yeah, DTC's got to figure this shit out. I just wish I knew if I'm landing.
Turn right, heading 175, intercept the 16 right localizer. Descend and maintain 7,800. Altimeter 3005, commute air 4237.
So right now, we're directly over there. Dead over. Ooh, birds. And again, I think they're going to have us make a left, and we're going to land runway 17. I guess. There's been no communication on ATC's part on what runway we're coming back around to. Because this Denver approach is 16 left, 16 right, and 17 right. So I just wish there was some communication so I understand what we're trying to do here. But if they are going to give us a left turn, it's going to be about now.
Delta 1549. Turn left, heading 360. Expect further clearance in about 2 miles.
Turn left, 360 Delta 1549. Yeah, we're definitely landing in the 700. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and update that here. If they loop us around, which I've never seen them do in Denver, we'll change that back. been a frustrating flight for the last second of it. Otherwise, it was enjoyable. I actually really enjoyed this flight. It was pretty smooth. There's only that one little part that had a little bit of turbulence. We have our departure planes coming off on our 08 here.
Delta 1549, turn left, heading 305.
Turn left, 305, Delta 1549. Where are we going now? I'm all kinds of confused now. Something there. That's good. Oh, that's nice. About to get killed by the departing A320 United. You know, I talked so much good shit about Beyond ATC for most of this flight, and they have really kind of dropped the ball here. I don't know what runway we're landing on. I don't know what we're doing right now. It's just kind of all over the place. This has been nice.
Commute Air 4237. Airport is at your 12 o'clock 15
We're still at
miles.
9,600 feet. We haven't
Report
even
the
been
field
given
in
our
sight.
descent to that 7,900 feet.
We have the field.
We're just,
Commute Air
we're literally just
4237.
flying around in circles right now, basically. Not even,
Commute Air
actually, you know what? Circles
4237.
would make
Cleared
sense.
visual approach
Like,
runway
holy crap,
16
we're
right.
flying zigzag patterns right now. I mean, we literally went
Cleared visual approach 16 right. Commute Air 4237.
foom, 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 foom. There's been no sense to it. And what are we doing right now? I don't understand what we're doing right now. We're way too close for me to turn. This is a mess.
Delta 1549, turn right, heading 025.
Turning right, 025, Delta 1549. You know, the funny thing is, I never stream Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't stream anymore. Anything. But, I was like, you know what? I want to be able to look back and look at some of my flights, and especially just see how I evolve. And this was a very typical, very normal flight, and then a little bit of bad energy management, and now it has turned into the most dumbfounding flight I've ever done. I'm so confused. I don't know where we're going right now. Unless they're going to make us do a loop to get back on.
Commute Air
But why did we
4237.
come all the way over
Contact
here
Denver
to just give us a
135.3.
radar vector there? So confused. I can see on the
Contact Tower
Beyond ATC map,
135.3.
there's no
Commute Air
plane
4237.
where they're sending me now. You know, I could have just gone there. So rather than coming around and going like that, they had me go like this. Boom, boom. Why? Why zigzag? It makes no sense. It's still better than they say intentions, let's just be honest, but
Delta 1549, turn left, heading 325.
left 325, Delta 15. Alright. See, now we're kind of going to here. And then I think they're going to put us, I guess we're going back to 16 right. Let's go back. Way down. 16 right. I'll tell you
Delta 1549, turn left, heading
that this is
265.
100% procedures. Left 265, Delta 1549. It's 100% wrong, and I promise you that.
Delta 1549, turn left, heading 205. Descend, maintain 8,600 feet.
Left 205, descend 8,600 feet, Delta 1549.
Denver approach, American 1387. Good evening. Flight level 190, we have hotel.
Back to 16.
American 1387, Denver approach. Good evening. Altimeter 3005. Expect the visual approach runway 17 right.
Altimeter 3005, expect the visual approach runway 17 right, American 1387.
Delta 1549, airport is at your 10 o'clock 16 miles. Report the field in sight.
Field in sight, 10 o'clock, Delta 15.
Delta 1549, cleared visual approach runway 16 left.
Cleared visual approach, 16 left, Delta 1549. That was the most chaotic go-around ever. It made no sense. Do we even have fuel left? Like, that was forever. Alright, flight attendants, after that crazy shit, get ready for that. Alright, we're gonna go flaps over. God damn, dude. That was no something. Descend. Are you? Nope, losing it. Losing it. Well, we're not making that mistake again. Land flight. Just fine.
Delta 1549, contact Denver 135.3.
135.3. Delta 1549. What the hell are you yelling at? This is I'm not stalling. Just confused. I'm just so confused. Alright, let's try to make the best of it. Flaps 2. You're done.
2,500.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Bravo strong. That's all hands on it. This is what I imagine I'd be saying myself. You're looking good. Just a tad bit high.
100 above.
Good.
Minimum.
Continue. This is nice.
1. Sweet.
They all kept out right there. There's the rest. First thrust off. Okay, very good. Manual brake. Alright, welcome to Denver after that chaos. Let's go ahead and exit left here. What was our gate? Alpha 47, I believe. That was fucking the whole flight, that landing was good. I definitely slammed it. But are you gonna send me to ground? Alright, let's just come to a stop. We'll tune ground ourselves. Alright. Make sure it stays on. Let's go ahead and get the ground frequency for Denver, which is ground. 6 left. 121, 121, 135, basically. Denver ground, Delta 1549, request taxi gate Alpha 47.
Delta 1549, welcome to Denver. Gate Alpha 47 taxi via Foxtrot. Alpha November.
Taxi gate Alpha 47 via Foxtrot, Alpha November, Delta 1549. Alright.
Negative, taxi via Foxtrot. Alpha November.
Gate Alpha 47 via Foxtrot.
Hello,
Alpha
Fresh
November,
Flight A320.
Delta 1549.
Welcome to Denver. After her chaos go around. The most chaotic go around I've ever had. When we get to the gate, I'm just gonna kind of show you guys on the map basically what that go around was. Because that was
All aircraft be advised,
the
information
dumbest
India
thing
now current.
I've ever
Altimeter
experienced.
3005.
I've experienced some pretty dumb shit on Microsoft Flight Simulator. But that was very dumb. That was... This fly-by-wire 320 likes to just do its own thing. Oop. And then we'll get the going here in a second. So we're taking this all the way to Alpha November, which is where our gate is. That was chaos. The whole flight was honestly rather enjoyable, really smooth, simple, not much to it. But man, that last little bit, that go around, was chaotic. Alright, so we're taking Foxtrot all the way to Alpha November. So we got a little while to go. Has no problems flying up to that speed, but we can also turn this truck off. Yep. Always interesting. Always interesting. Foxtrot 1 and Charlie November, so there's your first Southwest gates. Just trying to, in case people weren't air sick already. That was I had fun though. For most of it. And you know what? It'll be an interesting thing to look back on. Alright. We're getting closer. That was Bravo's November that we just passed. This is Bravo Sierra right here. Some United plates. Here's Alpha November, which is where we need to go. Overshot. I kind of forgot where we were going for a second. I was just like, oh, this is a scenic route. My old brain is fried after that. I get a gimme here. I get a gimme after what I just had to go through. ATC does not. So yeah, generic Denver Airport. Eventually I will upgrade. Honestly, I'm just kind of waiting for what Sobo promised, and that was the free trial. Because I just want to see how it impacts my game. You know, I've got the freeware Detroit and Minneapolis and some other freeware for 2020 that works fine in 2024. Like Salt Lake, where we flew from. And that scenery is real nice. And that's not technically 2024, but yeah, I just kind of want to test it since it's a paid for. You know, I just want to make sure it's not like super intense on my computer to the point where, you know, I don't want to use it. Sobo said that there was going to be a trial system, so let's see if they actually hold their word to it. But as of now, so welcome to Denver. Local time is 11:20 p.m. That was a lot longer than I was expecting, but it's Friday night. I can sleep in tomorrow. The wife is house sitting, so it's just me and the pups tonight. I can sleep in. They always wake up my wife in the morning, but they know that they should not wake me up because I'm grumpy. So they usually let me sleep in. But they will sit right next to me and stare at me and make me feel uncomfortable. As I feel like I'll do it because I'll drive slow. Technically we're actually supposed to kind of turn into a taxiway here, so we'll just turn it in. And now there's no gates on the thing. See how the nav lights are working around here? So we're just kind of going to pick one of these gates. I hate this. You know, we'll park next to this Delta. What is it? It is a Delta A220. A223. And because there's like no ground services or anything like that, we're going to leave our taxi lights on when we go to park so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Otherwise, it's just too damn dark. You know, I can't even see what goddamn lines. Right there. Yeah. See, like, you just can't fucking see it. Yeah. It's just so dark. That's why I like flying into Minneapolis and Detroit, because the freewares is a lot better. I know this is a shitty taxi to the gate, but at this point, I just want to get to the plane, or get to the gate. Alright, we're here. Everyone get off the goddamn plane. Alright, so let's go ahead and go engine 1 and 2 off. Fuel pumps off, and we'll just leave it on as though there is another flight maybe after this. So let's go ahead and services. Again, that's not going to quite the answer. And seatbelt sign off, beacon light off, dome light. Oh boy! Oh boy! That was some kind of flight, you know. So here's what we're gonna do. So I'm going to switch the thing real quick to my monitor with my charts and all that. So let's go to Google Maps, and I'm going to show you what we just did. Actually, oh, you know, I'll show you. So, here is our approach, right? So we came in, bad energy management, partially my fault, partially system not properly working. So we go around, and we go around, and we go around, and we get to here before we turn. And it doesn't seem that far, but that's a long way before you get a radar vector. We turn, we go like this, we get to here, then we make a left. We made a left here, then they say, alright, go over here. And I come over here, and I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid, because I'm going here. Every freaking thing, every star that's not coming from the north, it just goes like that. So I started, and then I'm like, alright, fine, I'll listen to your radar vectors. They want me to come over here, so rather than just going, they have me come over here, then they have me make a left, then we come right here, then we make another right. Why not just go from here to here, which all the stars do for this? I don't know. But we come here, come here, come here, and then we land. So we went like this. That was our go around. I think we made a star. You know, that was just chaos. That was just stupid. So hopefully you enjoyed the flight. I had fun. I hope you all had fun as well. And yeah, that's gonna be the flight for tonight. We'll maybe do another stream, maybe tomorrow, maybe another day, maybe in a month. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was entertainment for anyone that watched. So yeah, thanks for watching it.